Grazie per essere venuti. Hi, how are you guys? It's so good to see everyone, although I can't really see anyone. Hi, hello. Just as beautiful as ever, this crowd. We're back, huh? We're here. We're home. We're back in Rome. Let me ask you a question. I feel like most years, on Friday afternoon, when we're starting it off, does everyone walk out and wave and then leave? Or is that only Saturday morning? Is it only Saturday? Yes. Are you sure? We have never on a Friday all walked out on stage and then just said like, hey, we're here, and then left. I don't know if that's true or not. Because they were like, hey, you're going, it's time to go on stage. And I was like, okay, everybody, andiamo. And they were like, no. I was like, no, they're like, no, it's just you. And I was like, I don't feel like that was the case before. I feel like it was just me. But hey, out of curiosity, raise your hand if you've never been to Jib before. Whoa. I am surprised by the amount of hands in the air. That is pretty crazy. How many of you that just raise your hands have never been to a supernatural convention before? Wow. My name is Jason Mans. Thank you very much. I will right now save you the effort of having to cover yourself when you lean over to the person next to you and go, who's the big guy? I actually tell this joke a lot of times when we go to conventions. Most people don't know that there is a long hidden rule in Hollywood, which is if you have 10 to 15 seconds of one of your songs on a television show, you get to do conventions for 20 years. I was not aware of that before I had some music on Supernatural, but I'm really glad that that's the rule because I get to come to Italy, which is pretty cool. So do me a favor if you can, raise your hands once again. Whose very first Supernatural convention? Keep your hands up. You're gonna wanna put your hand down when I start walking, but you gotta keep them up. You have to keep them up. Okay, you can put them down now for now. Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Brooke.
Brooke. Have you ever been to a convention of any television show before?
No.
Were you prepared within the first 15 minutes of the convention to tell everyone in the room your name?
No.
You're doing great. Thanks for coming. Raise your hand if this is somewhere around 20 to 120th convention. If you have any questions, ask one of these people because they know more than me by a long shot. Welcome, I'm glad you're here. Have fun. All right, hands up, who's new? What's your name?
Mary.
Mary. I don't know many Marys. It's a lovely name. Where are you from?
Slovakia.
Slovakia. I don't know many Slovakians either. I'm glad you're here. Have you ever been to a convention of any sort?
No, not at all. This is my first one.
Now, what makes you say, hey, that show that started 20 years ago, I'm going to go this year to the convention?
Well, I started watching it about 2.5 years ago when I was going through some tough times. And I wanted to come to JIP last year, but it was at the time when I was traveling to Greece. So I decided that this year is the year.
I think this is the year. I'm glad you're here. welcome. And it does take about 2.5 years to get through all of these 750 episodes, so I totally understand. Did you have your hand up? All right, what's your name?
Alona.
What is it?
Alona.
Alora?
Alona.
Alona. Okay. I was like, if your name is Alora, your head is going to be on a swivel in this country. Where are you from?
So, Russian, but living in Serbia.
Okay. Хорошо. Are you having a good time?
Yeah, great for now.
And so, yeah, great until I got here. I understand. So when you decided to come to this convention, what put it on your radar?
Why did I come to this convention? So when I started watching the show, I was a child. And now I finally made my own money. And I finally came here.
This is the culmination of 20 years. Yeah. So how old were you? Wait, let me sit down. Oh, I don't want to ask it, but I'm going to ask it. How old were you when you watched your first episode of Supernatural?
13.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but still. I won't ask you how old you are now, unless you want me to. It would be rude. Okay. When someone with a Russian accent tells you that would be rude, you don't ask. But thank you for coming. I'm glad you're here. I hope you have a really good time. I think you will. Okay. Good. New? First time. Okay, have you been to any conventions of any sort before?
No.
None. Okay, and this is your first one ever. And what made you go, I'm gonna go to that convention for the first convention experience of all time?
It was the closest one to where I live.
I really like the way you make decisions. Where are you from?
I'm from Switzerland. Zurich.
Okay. How many Swiss folks do we have? Raise your hand. There's. Do you know her? Is that your cousin? Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hope you have a good time. Hey, what's your name? Stephanie. This is Mina. Where are you from, Stephanie? How far is that from Zurich?
2 hours by train?
You can meet in the middle. You know, get coffee, talk about the con. Thanks for coming. All right, who else? Who's new? All right. All right, we got a twofer. You've never seen the show?
No, I haven't.
And your t-shirt says, I've never seen the show, I'm just here for the men. That's lovely. Have you seen the show?
Yes, I have seen the show.
Okay, how long have you been watching?
Quite a while. I watched it with my dad. Yeah.
And where are y'all from?
England.
Cambridge, England. Oh, welcome. I'm glad you're here. You haven't been to a convention in England?
3.
What were they for?
Once upon a time.
All 3 of them?
One was Marvel.
1 was Marvel, 2 were Once Upon a Time. We will not judge you for 1 of them and judge you very harshly for 2 of them, unless Gil McKinney was there, in which case we'll give you a pass. Was he there? Judgment. Thanks for coming. And y'all, brand new, and you've been before. How many have you been to before? This is your 3rd? Okay. Have you been trying to bring them with you the whole time? You met today. Okay. Well, then you already know the drill. You met, see, look, we're bringing people together. I love it. So, did you two have a conversation where you were like, I have no idea what's going on, and you're like, me neither, and so then you guys bonded on that, and then you said, let's find someone who knows what's happening, and that's how you do the equation. Okay, where are y'all from?
Italy.
Interesting. Where?
Portugal.
Portugal. What part?
Lisbon.
Lisbon. Lovely, I've heard. And where are you from?
Italy.
What part?
Northern Italy, near Venice.
Near Venice. And you?
South.
Where?
South.
Okay. I've heard it's lovely there. So, what are your names?
Imma.
Ines.
Okay.
Michael.
Michael. Ima, Enish, and Michael. I feel like there's a Bible story about Ima, Enish, and Michael. Maybe. Thanks for being here. All right. Who else? Who's new? I have a tag on my back?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, DB30 is going to be like, where is my seat? Is that next to you? All right. Hi again. Thank you.
Hi.
Did you have a question? You had your hand up. Did you have a question?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
If you were to have a question, what would your question be?
Why are you standing so close?
It's a very, very good question. Where are y'all from?
Netherlands.
Netherlands? Okay.
The Netherlands.
Same city? You're her mother? I don't believe you, but nice try. Okay. Nice to see you. Have you been to one of these before? Uh-huh. Everyone in Vancouver was like, you gotta go to gym. Do you want to tell the class? Okay. Pardon me. I'm gonna scoot by you, but I'm gonna give you as much room as I possibly can. All right, tell us the story about your appearance here at gym.
So, my best friend of 44 years invited me on an Italian trip for like a besties trip. And she's going to Milan for work. And I said, I remember something's happening the weekend before I'm supposed to meet you. And I looked it up and it was gym. And I said, what the heck, this is a great Christmas present for myself. And I told my husband, hey, sweetie, I'm going to Italy, but I'm not taking you.
And how did he respond?
He said, you work hard, go do it.
Sounds like a good man.
He's my dean.
He's either a good man or very well trained.
He's my dean. Muscle cars, heavy metal, hard rock, and a heart of gold.
Look at you. It's spoken like someone who has been to way more than 2 supernatural conventions.
God, I started watching it obsessively last year in April. Finished it in 6 weeks. I work full time. I don't know how to do that.
Sleep is optional.
Absolutely.
Right on. What's your name?
Amy.
Amy. Well, we're glad you're here. Yeah, thanks for the story, too. Have fun in Milan. I'll go that way. It's fine. Hello again. All right, I'm going to go on the other side of the room. All right, raise your hand on this side if this is your first convention. Hello.
Hi.
How are you? What's your name?
Anastasia.
Anastasia. Where are you from?
Russia.
Russia. Здравствуйте, как дела? And what brings you to Jib? Or how did you pick this one as opposed to all of the other conventions?
Well, like,
The other girl said I was a child and now I make my own money, so I can afford it.
Solid. I'll ask you the same question. How old were you when you watched your first episode of Supernatural?
I was 10.
10 years old. Just gonna take a knee. See, when you said that, my back started hurting, my knees, I remembered how old they are. That's awesome. Welcome. Thanks for coming. And what's your name?
Maria.
Are you also from Russia?
Yes.
What part?
Center part.
Kursk? I don't know it. Right on. Well, we're very glad y'all are here. Have fun. Nice to meet you. You felt like you needed to be honest, but you didn't really want to raise your hand. That's kind of how
No, I did. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. It was kind of a passing, she kind of did a... So what's your name?
Magda.
Magda. And your name?
Zofia.
Zofia? Zofia. So, where are y'all from?
Poland.
Poland. Lovely. And also from Poland, I assume? Is there anyone else from Poland?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there? This is, oh, and in the front there? It's always really fun for me, for us, that there's so many different countries represented here. Is there anyone who thinks they might be the only person in the room from their country? All right, we're gonna play that game next. So, this your first convention of any kind or just first Supernatural convention?
Any kind, because I have been a fan of the show for a long time, and this is my sister, and actually turned her on to the show, so she. I'm here by accident.
That's what everybody says for the first one. I didn't even mean to. I don't know what happened. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming. All right. So raise your hand again if you think you might be the only person from your country here. We'll start in the back. Where are you from? Are there any other Kiwis in the room? All right. 1 point, but there's 3 of you. There's 2 of you. I will, at this moment, you're in the lead. But there are 2 people from that country. They came together, so I don't know if it counts, but you're winning for now. Where are you from? Indonesia. Any other Indonesians in the room? Somebody just took the lead, I'm sorry. Welcome. Glad you're here. All right. Anybody else? Yes? Portugal? Any other Portuguese? Yes. Ah. Where are you from, sir? Good talk. So, you should find out. How do you say that in Portuguese? Oh. Got it. You're American, but you live in Portugal. We'll come back. I don't know where that falls in the rules of the game that I just made up 7 seconds ago. Boom. Okay. I think you win. You tie. Okay. All right, who else? Italy? Could be. You never know. Ask around. We'll find out. Bulgaria. There is a large Bulgarian contingent, apparently. Did you know? Oh, there you go. Well, welcome. Do you guys live in the same town? All right, let's figure this out. Hi. All right, let's figure it out. Where in Bulgaria do you live? You? Croatia, Bulgaria. Sofia? Sophia? Sophia? She applauded for whatever you just said. So that's, oh, by the sea. Oh, you're the fancy one. Good on ya. Well, that's awesome. So did you know each other before you came? That's awesome. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7? Or 5? 5 total? That's pretty cool. I think so. I don't know. That would be like if someone was like, I'm also from Bowling Green, Virginia, in this room, I would be shocked. You know what I mean? Yeah, there are a lot more people in Bulgaria than Bowling Green, Virginia, but yeah. All right, who else? Yes? Chile. Lovely. Anybody else make the trek over from Chile? Well, we're glad you're here. Welcome. Where are you from? What part? Santiago. Lovely. All right. Anybody else? Estonia. Estonia. Any other Estonians in the room? Yes? Yeah? Estonian? Estonian. And you? Yeah, you didn't even know I spoke your language, did you? But I understood completely that you were saying, where are you from? It's a little thing. I pick it up. You know what I mean? Languages. As an American, they're kind of my thing. Excuse me. All right. Do we have any other, yes? Any Australians? Right there? Where are you from? Melbourne. Melbourne. Oh, and? Melbourne. And? Melbourne.
Where you want to play?
Yeah.
You don't have to come there while you go to the play. Yeah, totally.
That was the most Australian conversation I've ever heard. We all had to change airlines on the way. Anybody else? Yes? Austria. I know there are some Austrians. Yep, 1, 2, 3. Any more Austrians? 4? Yeah. Where are you from? Upper Austria? Okay. Or is anyone else from Upper Austria? No? All from Lower Austria. Yeah. Okay. So I had a conversation with someone from Austria today, and I was positive that I didn't make this up, but then they convinced me that I probably made this up. You know the rumble strips, where if you're driving in your car and you start to fall asleep, and then you hit the side and, and it wakes you up. I heard that in Austria, somewhere, the rumble strips play music. It's true? Where, do you know what city or what road? Salzburg? Okay. Do you remember me having that conversation with you today on our Roman holiday thing? Are you in the room or are you in? They're out doing something else? All right. I'm going to circle back and tell them. They tried to convince me that it was in California. I was like, it is not in California. All right. Any other